Content should not be hard. Everyone overcomplicates it. But if you can visualize who you're targeting, their pain points, their problems, their desires, their wants, their fears, what keeps them up at night and everything, and you only talk to them and you pierce through the noise of social media, that's how you get paid. I don't believe in broke leads. I think that if someone's from a first world country and they have a job, how can they not muster up $1,000? How's that possible? Your team is gonna take you to 50 to 100K, and you're not a leader that's capable of taking them to 100K yet because of the lack of book calls that they're generating. Bro, they booked 7 qualified calls in 27 days. Do you know how shit that is? And so if you want to scale to 100K a month, think about the team that you have to build to be able to hit those 100K months. Do you see this guy scaling you to 100K a month? You need to think as a 100K a month business owner before you can make that amount of money. I'm going to break down the exact blueprint that I'm going to take if I was trying to hit $100,000 a month. And I've used this for 5 to 10 of my clients, and they've all hit 100K a month. And if you're not at 100K a month yet and you want to scale your business to 10, 20, 30K a month, then this video is going to be super applicable to you. I'm going to show you exactly how to break down your own business by breaking down Josh's business, and how to give yourself clarity on what you need to work on so that you can work on the right action items to be able to scale fast and scale within the next 30 to 60 days. This is the same process that took Josh from how much?
From $500 to $50,000.
Hell yeah, 550K a month, ridiculous. It's gonna really just change the perspective on how you're gonna look at business and how you're gonna solve the problems in your business to make the money you deserve to be making. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and watch this video to the end because I could literally charge easily $2,000 for this, but I'm giving it to you guys for free. So yeah, enjoy. How many book calls did you have last month?
I don't have it in my head.
Bro, didn't track. Okay, the first problem that we have is a lack of tracking, right? Because if you don't know the KPIs at the back of your hand, then you will never know what the problem is. And so it's gonna be a bit harder for me to kind of pinpoint his exact problem because I don't know his numbers. He doesn't know his numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So the first step to actually understanding how to actually scale a business is by tracking all the numbers and everything. Because if you don't track numbers, then how are we gonna know what's going on? Just give me a rough estimate then. Book calls.
If we do like, let's say average 3 per day.
3 book calls per day?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 book calls per day. How many of them closed? How many new clients did you onboard last month?
13.
Okay, 13 closed.
13, 14.
Okay, 13 closed sales. I would specify how many no showed and how many actually showed up and the qualifications and everything, but Mr. Josh here doesn't know, which is why it's so important, because the thing is, if you just understand that, hey, maybe my show up rate is low and we can bump that up, then immediately we just know exactly what the problem is. Right? But because we don't know that, it's hard to pinpoint a problem with a lack of data and lack of information. So 3 booked a day, that means you're booking 90 book calls, correct? Mm. Off the bat, if you book 90 calls and 13 people closed, we know it's a pure problem with the post-booking process, straight off the bat. Because the numbers don't align. What's the math? 13 divided by 90. We're both Asian, we should know.
Yeah, it's like 1/9. So like, so like almost like 25%.
Bro said 25%.
Like I would say like 15%.
Not even, bro. No, actually, let's assume that you had a 90% show up rate, which is average in consulting mastery. So 0.9 times 90, what is that? All right, 81 book calls that showed up. That actually showed up, right? 81 divided by 13 divided by 81. That is a 16% close rate. So you tell me all the time you're good at talking, you're good at all this. Either your qualification process is complete garbage, your post-booking process is complete garbage, or you suck at closing. There's one of these 3 things. What do you think it is?
Last month was qualification.
Qualification.
We had a big issue with that.
So your closing skills were good then?
It was decent.
Okay.
But we had a big issue on the qualifications.
So qualification issue. And I'm assuming that you still had to sell on these calls, correct? Mm-hmm. So the post-booking process was also the problem. So just off of the numbers alone, the fake imaginary numbers that Josh kind of had to give me, we know that these 2 are the main issues. And this is probably going to be the A+ problem that if we solve next month, we're probably going to do 100K a month. Easily, right? Because it's that simple. It's that simple. When you do the math and you track everything, because Josh knows how to talk. I've seen him close sales before. It's not going to be a closing issue. It's strictly just a qualification issue in the post-booking process. So let's dive into that, right? In terms of qualification, how many people are actually booking that have a budget and everything?
So for the first half of the month, we were just booking in everyone. And the problem was a lot of them were in the range of saying 0 to 1,000, which could be pretty flexible. So it was too much freedom. And I would say literally at least 60% were putting that number down.
60%.
We're putting that number
We're putting
down.
$0 to $1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So we know that's a content problem because you're attracting the wrong type of leads, right? Bro still made $50K a month though. So not completely terrible content, but I think the content can be improved. In terms of the post-booking process, what did that look like? Did you have any post-booking at all or no?
Yeah, in terms of post booking, we had them book. We sent them a VSL to watch after.
What VSL? You had a VSL?
Yeah.
The business one?
Yeah.
But that one had no case studies, all right?
Yeah, no case studies.
Okay.
They're like very, very new, like small case studies.
Okay.
So like a early VSL that we had, and then we would message them. Obviously,
Reminders?
yeah, 24 hours before the call, maybe 6 hours, and then 3 hours, and then 1 hour.
Okay. Cool. So that's the two things you did. Okay, so the problem with that is that off the bat, I know, especially for your audience,
Yeah.
they 100%, they don't watch the VSL. You didn't make it important enough for them to watch. And your show up rate was probably dog shit as well, correct?
Show up rate was actually pretty all right last month compared to this month.
What's pretty all right?
I think like in total, honestly, we probably the last month total like maybe 7 no-shows.
Oh shit, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, but your closer is still dog cheeks.
Yeah, it's these, I'm telling you, there's so many guys booked in from out the country.
Yeah,
And these guys were very,
So you sent VSL, you had reminders. The show up rate was not too bad. The show rate was not terrible, which is not a bad thing. And so we know it's lack of post booking right now. And so what we need to do is we need to reshoot that VSL or we need to position the VSL differently. You're probably saying, hey, you need to watch this video before the call. What I would say is like, hey, this video breaks down the exact process that I would take if I wanted to scale to 10K a month as an online fitness coach. I need you to watch this before the call so that you get value and we also save time. Boom. You position in their best interest, not in your best interest. Not to save your time, but to make sure that they get value and that they benefit from this whole thing. These BDC guys don't care about you, and so it's a different type of market. You need to understand that they're not lacking time, they're lacking information. And so you need to pitch them on that. You pitch them on information because that's what they need, and that's how you position for them. You say like, hey, if I gave you the blueprint that I took to make 10K a month in the first 60 to 90 days of me launching my program, would you be interested? Yes? Cool, watch this video, boom. You see how you position, just by tweaking the messaging, you get more people to watch it. You need to be able to track. The first thing you should do in your next few calls, bro, ask if they watched the VSL.
we always do before they hop on a call with me.
Okay, and how many people actually?
Literally almost every single person does.
That's cap.
Swear to God. I make sure if they don't watch it, I make sure they watch it before they hop on a call. It's literally 15 minutes. So I make sure everyone watches it before hopping on a call with me.
But then it doesn't add up because your closing rate shouldn't be 16%. So either you suck at talking or...
And these guys, I'm saying, these guys, we're booking everybody in. That was the problem last month.
Okay. But even then, I think that not enough people watch the VSL. I think there was a hole in that post-booking process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There has to be a hole. There has to be an issue because if you book 90 calls, dude, if these guys are from first world countries, they can muster up $1,000. I don't want you to externalize the blame and say that, hey, all my leads were broke. I don't believe in broke leads. I think that if someone's from a first world country and they have a job, how can they not muster up $1,000? How's that possible? It doesn't add up. You know, we can sit here and say that, hey, my leads were shit and all that stuff, but the truth is your nurturing process was shit. It wasn't a matter of the leads. And so the situation now is like, okay, how can you be so good at sales and so good at the post-booking process that when they book, they'll find a way to get the $1,000 because they know the value is worth that. It's like the story of like, you know, you see a Lamborghini for sale for $10,000. Even if I had no money, I'd figure out a way to take a loan, ask my parents, ask my friends, start a GoFundMe, whatever the hell, to get $10,000 to invest in that Lambo. Because I know I can sell that for $200K. You know what I mean? Like that's the mindset that you have to have. And so the problem was not your sales skills. I know it's not. It's the post-booking process. You just haven't realized it yet. And if they watch your VSL and they still not are convinced, then your VSL is shit. So either way, the VSL is a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're watching the VSL and they're still not converting, then it's a VSL problem. If they're not even watching the VSL, then it's just a positioning problem, the way that you position the messaging. Okay? So what I would do regardless, if what you said was true, I would just refund the VSL. That's what we're gonna do here as well. Okay? I'll refund the VSL. Cool.
Post-booking video.
And then I would also create a post-booking video, right? Now, what is a common objection that your clients have when they say that they can't buy, or prospects have on your sales calls?
It's always just I need to think about it.
I need to think about it. Think about what?
It's always for the older guys, it's always I need to work out my finances. For the younger guys, it's self-belief.
Okay. So do you think that if you broke down the process better, they'd have more self-belief? There we go. So in your post-booking video, you're gonna break down the step-by-step process on what happens after they join. Because they're confused. They're like, okay, if I pay this guy $5,000, what's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna get access to this? What am I gonna get access to? Am I gonna have one-on-one calls with you? They're confused as shit. Yes, the offer sheet helps with that, but at the same time, if you have a video, 10-minute video that breaks down exactly what will happen as soon as they pay, boom. Now they're like, okay, I just need to figure out a few details and shit. Now I'm interested. Now I can sort my finances beforehand. How many guys have said that they need to move around their finances and they've never gone back to you? Out of 10.
A lot. I would say, out of 10. I mean, maybe half.
Okay, so 5 out of 10 people had a smokescreen objection. And I'll tell you this now, they didn't actually have a financial they didn't actually have a financial objection.
Yeah.
They had a product objection. They didn't believe that your product could help them achieve it, go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So do you see how fixing, the key thing I want you to do is how fixing the VSL will help, post-booking video, and positioning the asset in benefit of them as their benefit will help everything. They're just these 3 tweaks, and I don't think that, like, if you just booked the same amount of calls and you went from 13 closed sales, let's say you had a proper close rate, 30%, do the math. What's 0.3 times 81? Do you have a calculator? 24 sales, 24 closed calls, right? 24 closed sales. What's your average cash collected per call?
4K.
Oh, 24 times 4,000,
Yeah,
96,000. There you go. So if you just fixed the post-booking issue, you would have doubled your income. $96,000 just like that, with no change in marketing, no more book calls, nothing. Just fixing these 3 problems right here, you make $96,000 by just increasing the amount of closed sales from the already booked calls that you have.
Yeah.
That is your A+ problem. So you see how the natural tendency, if you didn't know what your problem was to go out and just book more calls and post more content. That's a natural tendency, but the problem that we're facing is not really that. That's actually not the problem. 90 book calls is plenty, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking calls. The A+ problem is the fact that we have a 16% close rate on the people that come because we have a qualification issue and we don't have an actual post-booking process. Our post-booking process is flawed, and that's why nobody's actually gonna watch the VSL. And even if they watch the VSL, they're not sold on you, your story, who you are, and also your process. The time window when a person books in a call and then when the person takes the call
That's what they buy.
is where the sale is made. What you do in this time period determines whether or not they buy. So let's talk more numbers. These are your KPIs, 3 book calls, 13 closed sales. It's not terrible. How many new followers were you gaining?
I like the average around 50 a day.
50 new followers a day.
50.
15.
No, 50, like 50.
Okay, that's good. And how many of them are qualified? 12 out of 50 people are qualified. 1/5 is around 22, 23%, you know? If I got that right, that's aura right there, bro. Okay, 22% are qualified. Now, you're naturally selling a B2C product, but the thing is, it's like, if you can literally just change your messaging to target qualified prospects more, with no change at all, you're gonna make more money. So have you done market research on this specific avatar? Be honest with me.
Yeah.
How much market research have you done? How many calls have you hopped on with?
I've hopped on calls with all my clients.
How many clients do you have?
17 or 20 now.
20.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
so 20 market
I did
research
it when I
calls.
had like 16.
That's not bad. And what are the main pain points that they have and that nobody else has?
What do you mean nobody else?
So let's say
orders.
I sell a fitness coaching offer and I only want to target online busy people that are business owners and want to get in shape.
Yeah.
The pain point that they would have that nobody else has is that they don't have enough time.
Yeah.
So they need a 20-minute workout to squeeze it in at the end of the day. Because they're guaranteed to be not broke if they are busy and shit, right? But if they have all the time in the world, then you can sell a 3-hour fucking workout, you know? So that pain point only applies to that specific avatar.
Yeah.
Because they're busy and they're working and they're successful. So what is a pain point, or what are 5 pain points that only your avatar faces?
One is just feeling broke, like not being able to support people around them.
Okay. Okay. What else?
The other thing is time. They feel like they don't have enough time to do coaching.
Okay.
Another one is, top of my head, a lot of people don't want to start because they're scared of just getting scammed. They're scared of like bad mentors. Another one is they're honestly just self-belief. Like I just don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And then it's like obviously lack of information, but that's like very simple.
Okay. So off the bat, the reason why you're not attracting the right ICP is because this applies to broke people as well. You see that?
Yeah.
These are broke people problems.
Yeah, this is where we get the sauce.
You know, these are broke people problems. So what I want you to think about is, think about how I attract my ICP. My content is targeting one specific ICP at all times. Content should not be hard. Everyone overcomplicates it. But if you can visualize who you're targeting and their pain points, their problems, their desires, their wants, their fears, what keeps them up at night and everything, then you're gonna be able to get good at content and only target them. And so your content should kind of pierce through all the noise on social media, pierce through all the content, all the bullshit that they see online, and only speak to them. That's what it should do. But right now your content speaks to everybody, which is why it also speaks to nobody. So what I want you to do is I want you to get clear on your specific person that you're targeting. Because I feel like your content is just so broad and so vague sometimes that of course you're gonna try 40 plus qualified leads out of 50, 40 plus unqualified leads out of 50. Of course it is. Because you're not clear on who you're targeting. You're just kind of posting for the sake of posting.
Yeah.
Or you're just copying what other people are doing and that's just not working, right? And so the biggest mistake that I see people make is like, oh, I think that if I want to attract more people or if I want to gain more followers, let me just copy other creators. That's the stupidest mistake you can do. Because what ends up happening is that when you copy other creators, you look like everybody else, first of all. You don't create an authentic personal brand and you attract a bunch of people that are just not your ICP. That's just what happens. So when you get clear on who you're targeting, your content will be good. Your content's already good. That's the thing. It's just that you have to be more specific.
Yeah.
You're trying to cast a wide net and catch a lot of fish instead of casting a small net and catching a concentrated pool of fish. That's what I'm talking about, right? So figure out your market pain points and talk specifically to him. That's all you do. The reason why, like, I'm going to give credit where it's due. I know this strategy from Tom Noss because I was struggling with content for a hot minute, bro. I still kind of am, if I'm being honest. That's like my number one bottleneck. But check this out, bro. It really changed the way that I look at everything. And I'm not going to sit here and act like, this is my whole, thing. It's like I learn from other people and I just get ideas. And so there's one task that he did that I want you to do as well. I'll duplicate this for you. He gave me a task to do my dream customer and follower, right? And basically all I did, bro, was I was clear on who they are. So this is my ICP, AI generated.
That does not look like me.
Clearly Cruz.
Yeah.
Who they are, what's their story, what do they look like? Cool, let's be clear on that. So a 25-year-old online coach who wants to reach their full potential, passionate about fitness and sports as a kid, joining a bunch of teams. You got average results in school, but had an amazing friend group that made high school a joy. Followed the traditional path, dropped out, and then pursued a career in online fitness coaching. Boom. That's my ICP. That's his story. And so when I talk about sports, when I talk about my life, it resonates with him, right? So everything that I talk about, if it relates to him, I'm going to talk about. You know what I mean? Because I do basketball. I want to share that aspect of my life. I do a lot of sports and everything, and I understand what it's like to be part of a team, and that's why I think the community is so strong, because we've built that connection, right? And the biggest thing that I think people struggle with is after high school, they lose that connection with their group of friends that they were super close to, and they want a new group of friends. I position my community as not just a stepping stone to get to where you want to be in your business, but to surround yourself with guys that are just close and tight-knit. Boom. Because I understand the market research, right? What are they passionate about? Personal development. Had a rough breakup with his girlfriend, and so that's what inspired him to do that. And so even the interview that we had, that's going to attract guys that kind of went through a similar story that you did, because I understand who I'm talking to, which is why I wanted you to kind of talk about that story, right? It wasn't like because I want to kind of get more out of you. It's because it's intentional, because I know guys that have been through a breakup, that start their coaching business because of it, and they want to scale up and they want to prove that X wrong or whatever. It's a pain point. Boom. Right? He wakes up early. He wants to be part of a community. He loves good company, blah, blah, blah. We all love good company. You know, like the fact that we're in Dubai with everyone, it's like, it's amazing. That wasn't on accident. I knew it. What are their goals? Feel successful in life. Make their parents and siblings proud. Help whenever they can. You know, buy whatever they want. Don't look at the price. Faster than the competition is just speeding by everyone instead of just kind of being left behind. That's the biggest fear. That's our biggest fear. But imagine if I'm at 300K a month and you're still stuck at 50. How would that would actually fuck you up though, right? Like, that would actually fuck you up. Like, imagine me and Cruz were at 300K a month and you're stuck at 50. That would make you feel so shit. I know that. Because I did my fucking research. You know, I studied, bro. What are the deepest fears? He struggles with the fear of never being able to build a legitimate business. You know how you struggle with that? Boom. Everything that I say here describes you. Loves car and watches. Drives a nice house. Buys Rolexes. I know everything. And so when you know everything about the person that you're trying to target, and when you have a Jack that's 25 years old and you know who he is, his desires, his goals, everything, you can be clear on content, you can target specifically him, and you can speak to him. You know those inbounds that come in and say, hey, I want to pay you $6,000 or $10,000 up front. Let me know when you can get back to me. Those are the guys that I resonate with. You want to be loved by a small group of people, not be liked by everybody. Because when you're liked by everybody, you're loved by no one, which is why no one will pay you. But when you create content for a specific type of person, and you only talk to them and you pierce through the noise in social media, that's how you get paid. The 15K payments you saw, the 10K payments, all that 20K, all that shit, it's because of this. So my content and my social media may not be huge, but I know how to track my ICP. Cool? Solid, huh?
Yeah.
How many calls has your setter booked this month?
Which one?
Both.
Ilias, or my first one, Ilias, like 6 or 7. Matt, maybe 4 or 5.
Matt had 4 to 5 book calls in 27 days.
Qualified.
Serious?
Qualified ones, yeah.
And
he had more, but they weren't qualified. They were just like, they ended up having to cancel.
Ilias had 6 to 7 qualified book calls.
Oh, Ilias, like 6 or 7 calls booked. He had like maybe...
Give me the same metric for both. How many qualified did each of them book?
Ilias maybe 2 qualified.
Ilias had 2 qualified book calls.
Yeah.
Jesus. And Matt had how many?
4 to 5.
Do you see the problem?
Yeah.
Let me show you real quick. Bro, that's fucked up, bro. That's actually... Cruz.
Yo. That's to be cut out the bit, 100%.
I'm not cutting that out. It's part of the Dubai. It's the Dubai business breakdown. All right, look at this. 2 to 5K. 20K to invest. Fuck me, I have this call in like 30 minutes as well.
Holy frick.
2, These are all qualified. That's all good. 3. Closer today. 4. Oh. 5. 6. 7. 8. You get the idea. We're booking basically 15 calls in the last 9 days.
I don't even have that thing set up.
Exactly, which is why there's a lack of systems and lack of everything.
Yeah.
I just had 15 book calls in the last 9 days, and I was out here in Dubai, not even setting in the DMs, just managing my team the right way. So the way that you get to 50 to 100K a month is not by doing more, it's by doing less, but making more, if that makes sense. Yeah. Less input, more output. And the way that you do that is by managing people the right way. Your team is gonna take you to 50 to 100K, from 50 to 100K. That's what's gonna happen. And you're not a leader that's capable of taking them to 100K yet because of the lack of book calls that they're generating. Bro, they booked 7 qualified calls in 27 days. Do you know how shit that is?
Yeah.
And you're getting 50 new followers every single day. Do you understand how bad that conversion is?
Yeah.
Bro, they're killers, bro. You know that, you know?
Yeah.
That guy is an A+ setter.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of not leading him the right way, and you're not letting him make the amount of money he should make. And it's only a matter of time until he finds an offer where there's an actual good leader that can take him to where he wants to be. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to understand. So you have to move with urgency, because A players that you get on your team that are actually good, they won't stick around for long if you don't give them the right opportunity to scale. Because if I want to make 100K a month and you're the main setter, you're not booking fucking calls, what are we doing? The guy booked 2 calls. Why is he still on the team?
Yeah.
How many times are you going to scare him, and how many times are you going to let him know that, hey, you're not performing, until he realizes that he's actually just not cut out for the team? I know it took you to 50K a month, but still, if you can't perform the next month, you can't sustain these type of months, and you book 2 calls in 27 fucking days, why are you still on the team? Because now your expectation for the entire team is set lower. And so if you want to scale to 100K a month, think about the team that you have to build to be able to hit those 100K months. Do you see this guy scaling you to 100K a month? Yes or no? The first setter. No. Yes. No. Then why do we still have him on the team? Why are we still stalling what we should do inevitably? You need to think as a 100K a month business owner before you can make that amount of money. Same way that you thought that you were making, the same way that you thought you were going to make 50K a month, and then you made 50K a month. You have to believe it in your head, and you have to do the action, that you have to do what's necessary to be able to get there. If you don't see him in a 100K a month team, why do we still have him? Because he's probably burning leads. Okay? So to manage a team, it's very fucking simple. What are you doing right now? Nothing.
What do you mean? Oh, in terms of managing them?
Yeah.
Text, just daily text and calls. But no direction on the calls.
Why?
I don't know.
Because you're lazy, that's why. You could literally spend 5 minutes to plan out what you want to say and the agenda that you want to have and go over with them, but you're not doing it. Mm-hmm. This is just lazy, right? And so part of managing a team is just so fucking easy, bro. Like, all you gotta fucking do is literally post 2 weekly calls. And in these calls, here's how you're gonna structure it. You're gonna introduce yourself and just kind of catch up with the guys. And then you're gonna go over the KPIs that we give you. The tracker's already all set up. You know that, right?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I'm gonna pop up like some type of screenshot, or I'll pop up some screen recording. Josh will post something.
Right. 3, 2, 1.
And just kind of scroll. Y'all can check out the numbers. And so, like, literally every single day, we can track the KPIs and we can look what's wrong with the business, because a lack of data and a lack of tracking means lack of clarity in the business, means the wrong things working on, and that's why you don't know how to fucking scale. You have no direction. It all starts with tracking numbers first and understanding where you're going wrong. Same way that I tracked Josh's stuff and how he's going wrong and told him that he has a post-booking process problem, right? I did that because I understood his numbers that he made up on the spot because he doesn't track KPIs. But if you actually track KPIs, then maybe we could be more accurate, right? But that's the overall stuff, right? Go over the KPI dashboard and call them out. How many book calls did you have yesterday? How many book calls did the other setter have yesterday? Why did you book 0 calls? How many averages did you do? Okay, you only did 10. Why did you only do 10? How many follow-ups did you do? You only did 40. Why did you only do 40? Do you not understand that we need to book 1 or 2 calls a day? If not, we won't hit our goal, and you won't be able to make 3K a month, right? And you kind of go over every single KPI and every single stat in the business, and you break down why this part of the business is lacking. And as soon as they understand that, and as soon as they understand that the problem is in their hands, they will solve it if they're the right type of person in your business. Does that make sense? You go over the KPIs dashboard, you get them all action items to do, set them on their way. Now they have clarity on how to take the business to 100K a month. They have an actual vision and they're clear on what they need to do because you gave them action items as a business owner leader. Clear? Same way that I'm giving you action items here, now you know exactly what you need to work on. And one thing that I'll need you to do if you want to create a team that will take you to 100K a month is you need to prioritize their goals over yours. You never want to say, hey, let's hit 100K a month. This month, guys, I want to make 100K a month. Me. No one gives a fuck about what you want. Because it's your business. Of course you want that. It's not theirs, you know. But the way you position it has to be in favor of everybody. So one thing that I need you to do, if you haven't done already, is ask them what are their personal goals. How much do they want to hit? Matt probably wants to hit, 5K a month? Right? That's his goal.
He said he'd be happy with 3.
3.
But 5.
3 to 5K a month. How about let's say you get a closer. How much does he want to make a month? Probably 10.
Is that standard for 10%? 10%, 100? Oh, yeah. 10K, yeah.
Anyone else on your team?
Soon to be VA.
VA, it's probably going to be like $100 a month. Okay. Nah, but let's give it 500 to a K. Okay. So if you say that, hey, Pavin. If you position yourself and say, hey, if I make $100,000, if our business makes $100,000 a month, each and every single one of you will hit your goals. Do you not see how much more aligned and how much more committed they feel to actually hitting 100K a month? Not just for the sake of you, but for the sake of them as well. Because naturally, you have to understand in psychology, humans are just selfish. We don't give a fuck about other people. Some people do, but some people don't. You have to assume the worst in people to get the best out of them. And so if we can say, hey, if we do this goal that we all are striving to hit and everyone holds down their ground, each of you will make the exact amount that you want to make. Boom, now everyone's suddenly in alignment. And when someone books 0 calls a day, they'll feel shit. They won't be able to go to sleep at night and they'll stay up to set until they book in a call. That's the type of team culture you need to build. Because their team culture right now is non-existent, which is why your sellers are only booking 2 to 5 fucking calls a month. That's why we book a day. It doesn't add up. There's 0 team culture. This is what's gonna build it. So anyways, that is a business breakdown with Josh. I'm literally mapping out his blueprint to 500K a month. I literally dropped so much sauce. Now, again, I think the main thing that you guys have to realize is that if you guys want to scale, you need to be able to track KPIs and do the things that actually give you clarity on the business so that you know what your A+ problem is and know how to prioritize problems the right way. Because honestly, the problem is not that you're not working hard enough. The problem is that you're working on the wrong problems that give you the wrong results and give you smaller results. If Josh solves these, just even one of these problems, you'd make 100K a month. We did the math. If he just solves the post-booking and sales assets, he's making $96,000 a month just off of one problem alone. And you see how when you pinpoint that specific problem and you make people understand or you make yourself understand that, hey, this is the one thing that I'm struggling with that if I solve, it'll make me this amount of money, you will be clear on what you need to work on. All right? I hope this video helped. I dropped some sauce. Josh, thank you for going through this business breakdown and just getting all my sauce and all my load.
I got you. I'll always be back for you guys.
Yeah.
Give you guys my freebies.
Yeah. So that's going to do this. That's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.